माइंड ऑफ हो गया। नमस्कार। Hare Krishna. I consider very fortunate to get the opportunity to speak about Mahaprabhu, that too right before, you know, like our Purnima. So I feel so fortunate, and at the same time, like I feel so grateful to Bhaihari Prabhuji and Indulekha Mataji for providing this platform for all of us to discuss, speak, and equally, I'm thankful to every one of you, and special thanks to you, Karnataka Prabhu and Mataji, for opening your house uh, for discussion. Thank you so much. The topic is Mahabhav. So as Mahaprabhu is appearing in just few days, like 3 days, right? Tuesday. So, I was meditating what to present. It almost took 2 weeks. I was thinking that topic, this topic, and all. I couldn't finalize which one. Then I thought, like, Mahaprabhu's speciality is what is in his heart, you know, that I wanted to explore and discuss. As you all know, we are all like, nobody is there to speak about Mahabhav, but it is just, consider my ignorance and accept the mistakes. And I'll try to make it a bit interactive. I don't know how much I'll be successful, and all mistakes, please forgive, and we'll make it an interaction. And another aspect is, I never visited either Mayapur or Vrindavan, so I don't even aware of those modes. So whatever I know is only because of all the devotees around you and little bit reading. So I would like to hear when we bring those pastimes of Mahaprabhu where he expressed those Mahabhav kind of things. I would like to hear from you, like your experiences of visiting those places or something like that. I would be more than happy to hear. So we will start. So, like, we all know about love. We heard uh, quite often, and quite misquoted word also. Uh, so in general, because we are all in relationships, so what do we expect in a relationship on a very basic level, on any relationship? Like, just love and respect. Yeah. And anybody want to share more? Depending on the relationship, affection. Sure. Trust, and this one. Any more higher? Higher than that? Sir. Yeah, sir. So in every relationship, we expect from the basic respect, trust, from those things, we go to friendship, affection, and we go to deeper, hak lena, like, you get the right. So there is a gradation in every relationship. Similarly, in the relationship of with Krishna also, these gradations are there for the jiva. Initially we might not even trust him, but slowly that can grow, and it can go up to what extent is what we are discussing. And once it was, I heard from Acharyas and our senior Vaishnavas, like Krishna became curious. all these devotees serve so much, and among them topmost is Radharani. She loves him so much, he bewildered. What is there in me so much that why is she loving and caring and taking care of me so much? So he became curious, like multiple things, like you can see in the slide that he was thinking how she could love so much. He was thinking about Radharani, how glorious she is, and also what is in me that is attracting her so much, or and even all devotees, and specifically Radharani. So that's also he was thinking, and also the happiness that she is experiencing, because Krishna is in the receiving end. Every day she is cooking, giving everything, he is enjoying everything. But what is that makes her give? Even in our relations, we do these, see these things. When somebody loves us genuinely, we don't even understand why they care us so much, why they worry for us so much, all those things. So, and because Krishna is Krishna, he wanted to experience that love. We can only imagine, but because Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead and all dualities fail before him, so he wanted to experience that love that he is receiving. In a way, he wants to love himself, but in what mood of Radharani. So that is the reason for Mahaprabhu's descent. That divine curiosity of Krishna makes us fortunate. It's one of the reason, one of the internal reason, makes us fortunate that to and descend this world, and uh, we are fortunate to hear so much about him. And so we all know that, because everybody here is a senior devotee, and they know much more than me. So we all know that, Mahabhav is kind of completely inaccessible at our levels. And so I try to present in a way that is little bit more related to us, and we can where we can apply by hearing about it, learning about it. uh, so that with that in mind, I try to come up with our own practicing theme or practical application in our life. So, I was thinking, if Krishna values love so much that he himself wants to come down and experience, and he became so grateful that he cannot even uh, reciprocate enough. So, if he values love so much, how much we should value his love? At our own level, all we can do is our bhakti giving more priority. So, this in a way I'm telling it to myself. So, we'll go next, with this thing. What is Mahabhav? So, I found some reference about Ujjwal Nelamani. I don't know so much details about it, about the details, but the definition, one of the definitions, the most intensified, condensed state of divine love. So, if all the love towards Krishna that we call bhakti, when it is condensed, and it is intensified to the maximum when it is fully manifest, that is called Mahabhav. And scriptures say that is fully manifest only in Radharani. We all experience certain levels of experience of Krishna's love and loving Krishna to that extent, but only she can love what she is doing. We are only, by Mahaprabhu's mercy, actually, we have some access to hear about it, to discuss about it, because otherwise it's a very secret topic. So let's go next. The whole of the devotion, starting from Shraddha all the way to the Mahabhav, there are some layers and intensities of Mahabhav are also there. So I charted, but let's start with Shraddha, that is the initial faith. But maybe generally asking, like, what is faith in general, or according to our scriptures, whichever devotees like to share, like, we can just talk for a minute.
When Bihari Prabhuji was talking on this topic, he says, even if you don't have faith, let it be a blind faith. It's okay to start with a blind faith. The faith will come. So before you start reading, just say Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. Even if you don't believe in blind faith, and from there you will get to the right level.
Right. Sure. Any other thought?
Faith is your inner conviction, even though probably there is not any rules or anything, but there is something that comes from within that no, it is true. And sometimes it's when we see the other devotees, then it even intensifies. The other devotees, they are so devoted. So there must be something. Maybe I don't understand, but they understand. They are doing it.
How about in general relations? Can you say, Mataji?
Relationships
among human beings?
So something that we believe in, that we want to follow. And we want to just go that path.
Sure. True. Yeah.
Something that we trust, like
bang on. Yeah.
You trust the person.
Yeah. So, like, all are correct. Like, recently, sometime back, I was hearing about Rompa Swami Maharaj lecture. So, in that, he mentioned a generic description about faith is unflinching trust on something sublime. He was not even referring at this point as Krishna, but that is one definition Maharaj gave. And recently I was hearing another lecture. The topic is on itself on faith, where he was quoting what Mahaprabhu defined. I don't remember the Bengali quote, but the English translation of that is unflinching trust on something by achieving which everything else is achieved. If one has trust on something, if he thinks that by achieving this, I achieved everything else. And that is the first line that Mahaprabhu tells. And in the second line of that phrase, Mahaprabhu don't give others a chance of speculating. So he says that is Krishna. So by having Krishna Bhakti, everything else is achieved. And Maharaj extended that same point, giving a Prabhupada's example of $1 million, bill. Yeah. By having that, one is already having $10, $100, and so on. So that is the faith. And like you're saying, Prabhu, like, this faith is gradually increases, and it goes to the level of bhakti, prema, and all those levels. So here, it's just an outline of Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajane, Kriya, Anardha, Nivrutti. So these are all we are aware. Nishta is the steadiness in the bhakti practice that we are doing. It's not that we are still reached the, unconditional pure love of Krishna. And then comes Asakti. And as I was studying, I got that understanding. Bhava is the state where this is the initial ecstasy. That is where literally Krishna becomes real to us. That is we will further discuss about this, and we can say, like, just like how we are seeing each other. So similarly, he is seeing whoever that devotee. So that much is practically achievable for most of the souls. And then further said, prema is only for very, very rare perfected souls that is possible. And the reason I brought that up is, like, Mahaprabhu's reason, because of Mahaprabhu, that is also accessible for us. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradaya. So that is because of Mahaprabhu. Even that is accessible. And from there, like you can see intensifications within the prema, because once the prema from bhava is like a uh, budding flower, and prema is fully blossomed flower. But still, even a bud is still fragrant, just like a jasmine flower or any flower we take, it smells beautifully even as a bud. So similarly, if Krishna becomes real in our life, that itself is quite a thing. But prema is fully blossomed, and once somebody reaches to the stage of prema, prema never stays static. Just like our material desires keep on increasing, prema also it goes on deepening, 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 and all the way up to this bhava, advanced nature of refinement, Mahabhava. From until that point, it is deepening of love, and from there it becomes intensified and ecstatic, erupting. The further modes from we'll further discuss Ruda, Adiruda, and all those things. These are all part of Bhava that Mahaprabhu shows where ecstasy becomes predominant. So this is kind of, I tried to summarize everything in one go, but of course nothing we need to remember. All it is just to say that like how much we can be fortunate. So so here that's what like I was sharing in the earlier. Who can reach up to what? So Bhava stage pure devotees, all the sadhana siddhas, the practicing devotees, who purified themselves, they all can become uh, access to Bhava, meaning for all of us. We all have the hope that in one lifetime we will be able to experience that Krishna becomes real to us. Because Bahir Prabhu always says that if you have started devotional service, it is just a matter of when, not if. So that way we can be very hopeful. Yeah. And prema is in the fully experiential level. Krishna is there, and it is very rare perfected souls. And then Ruda and Adiruda are like in ecstasies. These are like, the intensity. It is not just deepening of love, the intensity and the erraticness of it is too vibrant. That we can see in Brajagopi. So, and then this Mohana and Madan, these are like pretty much for the Madhurya Bhava devotees only. Radharani and those top gopis, because Mohana is the loving separation expression, and even more deeper that is mentioned is Madan, you know, is only experienced by Radharani, which is in union with Krishna on a physical level. And it was mentioned Mahaprabhu experienced this, but he was internally enjoying that because he is performing an earthly pastimes. And during the last 12 years, when he goes to that ecstatic levels, so he was experiencing that too. So, but it was only an internal manifestation of feeling. It is not like manifested externally. So, nutshell is Mahaprabhu tasted that Radha Bhav. That is what we would like to explore further. And why we need to know is like as we get more and more pure, the experiential and the reality, Krishna becomes a reality for us. Uh, so that would be the reason for knowing this, not that we became like sahajiyas or kind of uh, not to imitate, but to knowing that purity is good. So that's the purpose. That's the theme of sharing this thing. And now, what is the time? Okay, we have time. And next question comes is who enjoys more? Like Krishna and Radha. Krishna is called object of love, like earlier we were discussing. like he is the enjoyer, the receiving end of all the services, and here shelter of love, or subject also we can say, like all the devotees. Radharani epitomes that love, that we are all the subjects or the shelter of love. Uh, so question comes is like, who enjoys more? So maybe, and also why? I know all of you know answer, so I just wanted to hear from you, uh, who enjoys more and why.
Devotee enjoys more than Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. And want to share, elaborate it a bit.
Why that is the case? I don't know if I remember why that is the case, but I remember that it is said that Radharani enjoys, because she's loving Krishna, she's relishing his sweetness. She enjoys more than Krishna, and those who serve Radharani enjoy even more than her. It is said. For their serving her. That's all I remember.
Yes, sure. Any other thoughts? It's not that I don't. I have another answer. I wanted to hear from devotees and learn. So, anyone want to share anything?
The one more thing is I think it's from the past time between Radha and Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
When Radharani, after the Vraj Holi, they meet, and then Radha Radhi says, because every time you play flute and thing, and there is so much anxiety comes into me. So I would say, that's okay, because you can never understand.
Sure.
Radha says that Krishna can never understand because we are not the object of love. You are my object of love. So I can understand that Bhava, which is not there in you. So bhakti is there in the devotee.
True.
And then Krishna is the recipient of that. So that's
Sure.
why the bhakta enjoys more than the God himself.
Right.
Because of the lack of that bhakti part, Krishna doesn't have bhakti because everything is he.
Right.
Expansion, everything. So that's the whole reason Radharani asked Krishna to become Radha, and these changes the dress of Krishna also, and try to make him Radha and Chaudhary, make him bear. But he says you are become externally Radha, but internally you can never become Radha because that Bhava is not there, and that's why Mahaprabhu came into that. I will take a incarnation in which there will be power of Radha beyond,
Yes,
and then I will experience the.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Because like you said, with that experience of love, she is enjoying. She and because she is the embodiment of Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of Krishna. So, and we are the traces. We have that traces of that Hladini Shakti's mercy. That's why we also enjoy. Because of that enjoyment, she is doing one service after another. She is doing XYZ services, and then she goes and do another number of set of services, and she is deriving lot of pleasure out of it, which Krishna is missing. So he thought, like we were discussing, like what is that makes her do all these things? I wanted to enjoy, you know. So that is the reason, although he is the Vishaya of the devotional service, because any relationship at any one point of time there will be a subject and object. Nobody can be always the enjoyer. So, but in Krishna Leela, Krishna is always the enjoyer, and so he took the position of Radharani. So he appeared Krishna himself, but with the complete mood of Radharani. So he took the Ashrita form. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, because I was thinking that in this world, like you want to give pleasure, like it's pleasing to give pleasure to others, like if others feel happy,
Sure.
and if you have any role in their happiness, you automatically happy. Like when I think of the devotees here, right? Like Malika loves to make people happy. I think she's happiest when other people are happy. Like like her it's so we generally like to do that for other people. But in Krishna consciousness, we're supposed to make Krishna happy.
Yeah.
So is there an element of when we're making Krishna happy by reciprocity, like by reciprocal relationship, we automatically feel happier because Krishna is happy, because he's the embodiment of happiness.
Yes, Mataji. Definitely. You actually, you're asking like a question, but you answered that it is so true that as we are serving Krishna, when Krishna becomes real, the material world becomes the dominance of material world on us becomes lesser and lesser. As much as Krishna enters into our life, we have that famous slogan, right? जहाँ पे कृष्णा वहाँ पे माया नहीं है. That uh, uh, so wherever Krishna is like sun, so there cannot be darkness. Similarly, when Krishna enters our heart, we don't even feel. In the next slides, we'll be seeing Mahaprabhu is showing like an example in his life. From initially, he behaved like a scholar, and then he behaved like a devotee, and he became like a mad, ecstatic devotee. All the phases of devotion he showed to us. So he became literally unconscious of the world because he is in the Bhava Prema stages, Mahabhava stage. But otherwise, we all have experience as we see devotees that they became so detached. Uh, so we accept the dualities with better balance compared to a materialist. That is because of his presence and his hand in our life. So so here what the theme is like, basically because the love of something is completely internal to the heart. So it is not just about action of doing some activity, because Krishna sees the heart of the devotee. That makes him more pleased. The moment he becomes pleased, as a reciprocation, we will also be satisfied. So that is where like the heart of the devotee, nobody knows. Like, how would I judge somebody else what is in there in his heart? So that is why we can't just external actions. Based on that, we can't make an assessment of is good. Of course, symptomatically we may, but at the same time, we can't be judgmental because Krishna can be devotee. Sometimes some people may appear like non-devotees, maybe a great devotees. Like you all go to offices, most people might not even know that you are such a wonderful devotees, right? But they may judge their own ways. Similarly, if we are also judging somebody, so that thing in mind, like, I mentioned that uh, it's not like drawing parallels exactly with Mahaprabhu and our life, but some lessons learned kind of. So is this a complete, like, in a nutshell I am doing it, like Bhava to Prema? Because earlier slides, if we saw in this ladder, like, after Asakti comes Bhava. So from here, Krishna becomes completely real. Of course, Krishna is real for us also. It's not that he is not real. We definitely see some or other point his hand repeatedly. He shows he is there for us. That is what nurtures our faith to continue our Krishna consciousness. But it is like completely manifesting and seeing. Like we heard once that pastime where Rupa Goswami was chanting and he was seeing the pastimes kind of. It is that real, like in the Bhava stage. So this is where the spiritual awakening happens. So from this point of when somebody reaches the Bhava stage, he no longer be the same person. So later we will see the examples for each of the scenario what Mahaprabhu experienced, and Prema is fully matured stage of love. and like I was that budding flower and fully blossomed flower. That's the reason I kept. Once one reaches the stage of love, love will never be static. It goes. This is at the deepening phases. The sneha, you feel lot of affection and feelings for Krishna. That is the sneha. And mana is like something like abhiman, ego. Like like even you can criticize Krishna kind of moods. Pranaya is like fighting mode. Raga is intense affection. Anuraga is even deepened level of raga. So these are like the love going deep and deep and deep, 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 deep. And after that, the intensification, intensification happens from here. This is the spiritual ecstasy. With so these ecstasies can be little bit beyond world kind of.
What's the prana experience? That was the fighting. What does that mean? Pranaya. Maybe determination like pranaya.
Not like
These are different
yeah, we have exact meanings and all because my focus is not like so much on Sanskrit, but still I kept a slide to exactly know what that pranaya means kind of. We can refer. Uh, but all I'm trying to share in this is we'll see. You see, pranaya is oneness of heart. In the mana stage, loving, jealous, anger. You will be angry, like Lalita will be criticizing Krishna because of you. Radharani is suffering. She is scolding Krishna. That we cannot compare with a materialist scolding Krishna. All right. So that's the difference of between the mana and the material world, the abhiman that we express, ahankar kind of feelings. They are completely different. You can say a perfected reflection what we experience. So, and the pranaya is the oneness of heart. You know, trust and equality. Equality is something we can't assume with Krishna, but in that mood they can. So, and anurag is intensified, like more deepened level of raga, where the love is ever fresh. Like a newly uh, like young teenagers when they love, how fresh that is kind of. And then Rhoda is fully developed ecstasy, and then when it is further intensified, Rhoda is Adiruda, and Mohan is. I was thinking when I was hearing about Mohan and Madan, like uh, Madan Mohan. So, so because he is also, we can see like Madan Mohan is the Sambandha deity, deity for the Sambandha Jnana. So connecting us with Krishna to that's what. So this kind of love is bewildering in love in separation. So the separation intensity, like and Divya Unmada. Unmad means we know, right? Like materially we would have heard this word. And Divya Unmada is transcendental Unmad. So it is literally kind of madness. Uh, so this during Gambira pastimes in the last 12 years, Mahaprabhu very much deeply expressed. And some of the Mahabhav in sometimes even in public Mahaprabhu displayed. We'll see those pastimes too. And Madan is, like I was saying, is love in union that only Radharani experiences in a manifest way. Mahaprabhu experienced it, but in an unmanifest within his heart. He was enjoying that feelings. How he enjoys food or not.
So I was thinking some of these, especially the order in which you mentioned them, could we experience that in Kirtan?
Like sometimes it starts with that mood and then it goes on and then there is this, extraordinary experience
Sure.
by the end of it, right? And
Oh, yeah. Many times.
to keep them also, especially in the Vaishnav.
Sure. Definitely, we feel the glimpses of all these, you know, feelings. Like sometimes Krishna looks so cute, we wanted to hug him, but these are all completely transcendental emotions. Meaning, we are still in the material worlds. We feel lot of affection. We feel the glimpses of it because of Krishna and his devotees' mercy, because many times when we hear from a devotee, we feel so charged up, we feel so interesting to about the Krishna topics. But when we sit ourselves and read the same topic, it might feel boring, right? So it is the purity of the devotee that you know uh, suddenly it elevates our mental state to a level that we would be able to grasp those things. But all these things, if somebody is in the Bhava stage, he is already beyond the modes. So he is in the Suddha Sattva, like pure transcendence. So he is literally not a person of this world. He is a spiritual being, even if he is walking between us. So so the feelings, emotions, anything we are discussing, uh, we cannot assume we experienced ever. Of course, before falling down, we may that is an uh, question, but definitely we are not experiencing at this point. Uh, we may fail little traces, but not in realistically, because that is the reason. Like everywhere, like I try to put a practical theme or practicing theme. What is in our adhikar? Where Prabhu always mentions about adhikar, what is that we can do. So I try to keep that, because this topic is only a theory to me. So, uh, we can see from this, like this Mohana, Divyonmada, from Roda onwards, it is all Mahabhav and this only for the Madhurya devotees can be experienced. Let's go. I know what's the time. 6. Okay. These are Ashtasatvika Vikaras are like various, we discussed so far about this Bhava, Prema. These are stages of devotion, like kind of Sthayi Bhav, you can say. Like, in a particular state of being one person is living. So these are those things. And like we all have emotions, sometimes we get, angry, and sometimes we will become jubilant, the expressions of love, erupts from us in. So these are those things, because it was mentioned vikara, we would have heard this word vikar, when even stomach upset many times we may use that word vikar. So uh, because akar and vikar kind of, it is akar is kind of more, akar or sakar is kind of more, uh, what we say, like a properly situated position, and vikar is something like a disease, like it's not the state that nobody wants to be. But these are transcendental, that's why it was mentioned satvika vikars. Here satvika is not mode of goodness, but it is Suddha Sattva. So, and there are 8 transcendental moods, we can say. So these are like, being stunned, perspiration, like romanchan means like hair standing on end, and voice faltering, you know, uh, and trembling. Some of these feelings we may also, like, on a Even though we are in material, we may feel sometimes, but they are not like transcendental. Sometimes we feel so, tears may aa sakta hai from ears, from eyes. So, but it doesn't mean that we are in that stage. Sometimes when devotion or Krishna's love touches our heart, it may purify us, we may get tears, but we can't assume to be a transcendental emotion. But change of color of the body, Mahaprabhu sometimes became pale, you know, and the tears flowing. And this pralaya is devastation, fainting means sometimes, his limbs may be disrupted, kind of things. So, uh, we have what, just curious, just, because I don't want to make it a boring theory. Uh, what are the five principal rasas, um, we hear in Krishna Bhakti? Like that. Can
Rasa is one.
Sure.
Dasya,
Dasya.
Madhurya,
Madhurya. Yeah. And
Vatsalya.
Vatsalya. So, all these rasas are like transcendental. And all of the devotees experience these vikaras. But in those people who are in the Madhurya Bhava or Mahabhava stage, if somebody is in Shantaras, at one point they may experience, stamba. Stamba means pillar, meaning like, literally became static, and seeing Krishna, he became like stunned kind of feelings, and perspiration. They experience in one after the other, one at a time, kind of. It's not like, but whereas when somebody me, only Mahaprabhu and Radharani are there. So when they experience Mahabhav, all these expressions will be fully mixed up. How many mixed at what point, and which one is erupting in the highest level, uncontrollable level, how many are uncontrollable? This is all completely mixed up, erupting simultaneously and uncontrollably. So that is where, like, when Mahaprabhu's pastimes also, when we hear about he was fainting, not even breathing, limbs contracting, hands elongating, bones and joints are loosened up. These kind of ecstatic physical transformations are possible because he was in the deepest ecstasies of this he was going through, and he was enjoying. That is where, like, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya first time observes him, because he knows this science very deeply, is he faking or is he real, is something he is able to judge, because you know he might know, like, God knows so much. So based on that, like, he is able to do that. I think uh, I will stop for 5 minutes for any discussion before going on to the pastimes. Any questions? Because again, these points are will here in the pastimes also. So, but just curious. In case no question, please.
Just a question or comment.
Sure.
How much are these experiences are felt by devotee versus observed? When you're so deeply in bhav, you may not be realizing how you are feeling. You're thinking so much of Krishna or the object of your love.
Sure.
So these may be observations by others around the devotee versus experiences.
Right.
Because to fully experience something, you have to be focused on what you're feeling versus.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering if there's anything.
So based on the kind of stage one is manifesting, like, within the bhava also, after prema, within there are different intensities, right? So depending on what intensity that devotee is experiencing, sometimes the devotee may be feeling the Mahabhav, but still he is very much conscious about the external world. Like, when Mahaprabhu was performing Sankirtan movement in Navadvip, during the initial period before sannyas and after initiation, at that period, he is publicly performing, Sankirtana, and he is experiencing Mahabhava also, but only internally he knows that he is experiencing Mahabhava. Externally, still he is engaged with devotees. So in that stage, it is like that. And in Radha he was little bit more uncontrollable. Before Radha when he was dancing, people, devotees around has to see about his well-being. So that was the situation he was in. He was not aware much about his own consciousness in the sense like physical care or XYZ about who is next to kind of. But when he lasted 12 years, complete ecstasy, highest form of, like he was going and everywhere he's seeing Krishna and he's hitting that object because he wanted to hug it and hitting a wall, bleeding. And, so this level of, and once he, confused Bay of Bengal to be River Yamuna and he went and drowned in it. And after that, some fishermen able to find him and brought him back, and he was literally not in his senses. Then again, to bring him back to senses, devotees started chanting Hare Krishna, and then slowly he is back. So sometimes these ecstasies can be very wrongly misunderstood also when devotees experience, because that is not our experience, right? We only see based on what we can only see how we see want will see the world. Just like beauty lies in the eyes of beholder, similarly from our eyes what we think the other person is what we behave. So that is where, like, we better not judge people in general, not just devotees, because we don't know what is their life, how they came up back to a particular situation. Thanks, Prabhu.
Is your question more Prabhu for Mahaprabhu or any other devotee who might be experiencing and not expressing? Any devotee. Because the same question was asked in context of Srila Prabhupada, that did he ever express any Mahabhav and did he had the Bhav? And I think I heard in the class that definitely he had that, but he did not express, having 2-3 instances with which people, devotees observed. But I think Ilanka mentioned his servants could hear just outside his quarters when he's there. They could hear certain things, which is where if he was doing, I mean, Mahaprabhu is not Srila Prabhupada is not from this planet, like he is an eternal servant, right? So if we get Mahabhava, I think he is expressing it separately. Right. But there were 2-3 instances where people saw tears in Srila Prabhupada when he's taking the darshan. I think one happened in that Atlanta temple, so it's like a famous. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada never expressed much Mahabhava.
And even general senior devotees also, Prabhu, it need not be to the level of Srila Prabhupada and all. What goes inside in their heart, very hard to assess, because that is not the realm we are in. And especially Guru, we should be extra careful, because only conceptually we should know that he is our genuine well-wisher, but just by his external behavior, we smiled and he didn't smile back, those things do happen, right? Because they are completely taking care of n number of things. And sometimes we may share something and they may be silent. They say okay, they don't even say. Sometimes they may give a long explanation, something we don't even, many times I also experienced, many times I ask Bayer Prabhu a question, sometimes he may choose to be silent, and sometimes I was thinking, am I asking a wrong stupid question like that, but he gives a detailed explanation. So any senior devotees in general, especially Guru, we should not try to understand what goes in their heart. So that is my understanding. But of course, we have Rup Goswami gave like Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari gradations generally to know, but not like in individual level to keep judging, not to be judgmental. Shall we move forward? We have only 12 minutes, it seems. So, and we all know Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. Here it may be a little bit more interesting because it comes with past tense, not theory. Uh, so he is always, because he is Mahaprabhu, I am saying he is always a pure devotee in the Radha Bhav. But his manifestation happened only after his initiation. He went to Gaya and Ishwar Puri gives him initiation. Until initiation, like he was more a scholarly, learned scholar of Bengal. That's how he was behaving. Sometimes there was a, Gadadhar Pandit, and Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani, you know, coming to this world, and he was not liking Mahaprabhu constantly talking about philosophy, defeating people, kind of mindset. But once his initiation happened, whole Mahaprabhu becomes a different person. Like this is the picture that at least the picture source is telling that after Gaya he reached back to uh, Navadvip, and where he interacted with devotees, and he was very humble, and the tears were flowing from his eyes, and he's constantly remembering Krishna, and so this is the stage he was expressing the symptoms of Bhav, like he was very humble, but at the same time sometimes suddenly crying, suddenly joyful, kind of ecstatic symptoms he was exhibiting, so which was not there before. So this was very much compared with the symptoms, the wives of Brahmana in uh, Srimad Bhagavatam. We hear like the moment they know that Krishna is there, he is hungry, they forgot all about the social customs and all those things, and they went and met Krishna. So their love is like the mood, like uh, they can't wait a second without him. That kind of eagerness and love, because for them Krishna is become real. They went and met personally. Once they came back, the Brahmanas who were initially opposing their wives, why did you go? We are doing yajna. After the yajna only we need to offer this, yajna first, then only yajna will be successful. That was their mood. But once they meet Krishna and comes back, then by seeing the radiance of their wives' faces, they uh, realized their mistake, and accepted heartfully their wives. And I don't know whether they paid obeisances or not, but definitely that was their mood for sure. So same thing, Mahaprabhu before initiation and not initiation, not the same person externally, because all he is trying to show us is once Guru enters your life, what the transformation happens. Like Prabhupada gives that example many times. Bayer Prabhu shared this. When a power is connected to the point, source of energy, that is when all power comes to us. Otherwise, how much our power? Krishna is all powerful and all merciful, but we are not connected through the medium. That is where all that power, all this mercy is inaccessible to us. So, Guru is that person, that messenger who takes that Krishna's love and he gives to us. And it's all up to us how much we can accept. With all our faltering, we will still try to uh, accept as much as possible, and that's our scenario. But uh, that's what Krishna, Mahaprabhu is here teaching a lesson to all of us, that Only when Guru comes, Krishna becomes real to us. Until then, we may hear about it. That is where, like, this devotion is the greatest mystery. Because Bhagavad Gita's essence is that Sharanagati. That Sharanagati, although book is openly available, very few can actually understand, realize Krishna. Manushanam Sahasreshu. And only very fortunate soul will have the opportunity to have a guru. So they can have uh, this kind of experience. So this is the starting point. This is Bhava before Prema. That is what manifesting here Mahaprabhu. Although he is himself is always in the Mahabhava and this thing. So when Krishna enters our life, lives are not same. That happens when Guru enters. He is the messenger of God. So that's the lesson to us. Like the value of a Guru is exempting. That is my understanding. And after that, he started widely Sankirtana Yajna in Navadvip area. So he is going out and doing Sankirtan party. So in this stage, you know, his love is becoming more and more intense. It's no longer any, just exhibition of prema is fully manifested. It's a fully blossomed flower. That is what he's manifesting. So his external awareness is still there. He is aware who is the devotees around him and all that. But at the same time, his deep internal devotion is he is experiencing. The Ashtasattvika bhavas he was experiencing. That is that vikaras, that being stunned or tears rolling or all those things started manifesting. So this is like a fully blossomed flowers. So here gopis singing Krishna's glories can be compared. This is when they chant Krishna, Krishna and all, that is chanting the holy name, right? So for us, whatever Mahaprabhu is experiencing, he is constantly repeating Krishna, Krishna, he is chanting. So he is experiencing, he is deriving Mahabhav from the holy name. We also have the access to that holy name. We will enjoy in seed level, not like what he would enjoy. But that gave me a kind of realization that this is the source of everything. Rompa Swami Maharaj says, I think nectar of devotion, Abhinnatvam Naminamine, the holy name and the actual person Krishna are non-different. So that is the practical lessons for us. Singing of Krishna's glories, either chanting or Sankirtan. And then after, he, sannyas initially, after he took sannyas, after sannyas, he traveled the entire South India for 6 years. So until before the travel, he was living in the Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house. But once he completed this yatra, like he goes to Kashi Mishra's house. That's we'll discuss that also. During the South India yatra, like he went to so many places. All these places I identified. Only after before, he visited Simhachalam also, the place where I live. And only when I went in 2023, that's when I saw that Mahaprabhu's feet are there in our temple. Childhood I was there, I am not aware. The only when devotees come to our life, we realize these things. Until then, even if they are right next to us, we might not know. So, and he went to Navanarsimha temples. And he went all the way up to Kerala, and then he went even Panduranga Vittal temple. He was embracing Panduranga Vittal, and so this is the travel path. And on the banks of Godavari, And I think you are telling right, Prabhu, like, in the Kovur, Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Rai were discussing about the pastimes, not pastimes, they are deep philosophical discussion they were doing. And one of the discussion that initially devotees told me is about how the material so-called education is useless when the transformation of heart is not. It is useless because the transformation of heart was not happening. Because the today's education more focused on information, information, and no transformation. So, and we are fortunate to have teachers like Bhaira Prabhu and all. Because of that, we are hearing about Krishna. There is a chance of transforming our hearts. So, uh, there is a, you know, and during these discussions, he was, Mahaprabhu is sharing about his internal feelings of what he was experiencing with Ramanand Roy. That's also discussed. That is, in a way, Acharya says that the theological revelation of his descent. Like he didn't say explicitly that this is the reason, not like that, but he was sharing his devotional ecstasies. And so, this was compared to the gopis searching for Krishna, in Bhagavatam, that when he suddenly vanishes, right, who was right before them, and suddenly Krishna vanishes and gopis search, they ask Narayan. So that particular pastime, uh, so I'm not going in deep in the interest of time, but we can compare with the mode of how much gopis are missing there, Krishna. That is the loss of the separation Mahaprabhu is feeling. Arey, I'm not seeing Krishna. That and that separation is constantly, remembrance. We also have this experience, when we either lose our loved ones or when they are far off, we miss them. Those we are all in America, we miss our parents. So that's also love in separation. We may be very casual when we are with them, but when we are here, we try to be little more attentive. So it's kind of course, we can't compare this thing, but separation increases remembrance. That's the point I try to share. And maybe this ask is pretty much for myself, you know, like I feel spiritually so dry, you know, turn towards Krishna, just shift your face towards Krishna, and then He will take care. He'll take 10 or 1,000 steps for us. That was my understanding. And maybe 2, 3 pastimes, maybe in 3, 4 minutes, I'll try to wind up. I felt already it became boring. Thank you. And here is Jagannath Puri. So here he is dancing before Jagannath, and he is externally, although he is dancing, and he was, in the mood of, Brindavan, because Jagannath is, he is in the Krishna in Dwarka mood, but he is dancing before, him, you know, although he is dancing before the Krishna, still he is feeling separation. That is, this is where, like, he is completely uncontrollable. He is not much conscious about what he is, at least visibly, like conscious about the external material world, the practicalities kind of thing. He is openly exhibiting his Mahabha. And so that is, yeah. I don't remember which verse is that, 30, 31st chapters. Maybe Brahmara Gita, I don't know. I think Brahmara Gita comes in, this is,
It's not Gopi.
Gopi Gita is 34, I think.
Brahman with
Brahmar Gita, right? Like that bumblebee. Yeah. I think this is that chapter. Although Krishna is next to her, Radharani, like, the moment he heard Madhu, I'm thinking it's my mistake. I don't remember at this point. So our thing is like we all do dance for Krishna, chant our rounds and all that. So we became sometimes very ritualistic. That is still okay because that's our adhikar. But at the same time, sometimes remembering it, like how much we are attentive is what Krishna sees. Our effort to bring our, chanting back to holy name, that's our adhikar. So we can work on that, but not just mechanical or ritualistic. We do so many devotional activities. Sometimes just hearing the value of those activities help us to bring us back. So that is, uh, so this Jagannath Puri, he lived after once he is back from the South India travel yatra. So this is related to that. He lived there for 6 years, and the last 12 years, he lived in the house of Kashi Misra. Kashi Misra is, King Pratap Rudra's Rajguru. So Pratap Rudra gave him a big bungalow and a garden around it, and he asked Kashi Mishra to live there. He was living there, and then Pratap Rudra speaks with Kashi Mishra and requests Mahaprabhu, you bring him to your house, let him stay in your place. And that is where like Gambhir is a simple, a very small room. So that is where like last 12 years Mahaprabhu lived. And he was in the extreme level of manifestations, Divya Unmad, it's complete madness. So this is completely private. Outside people, he was not meeting anymore, and his experiences only he knows, and very confidential devotees. It has to, for his own security, two people used to guard the door. One is Swarup Damodar, and I think another one is Ramananda. I forgot. But two devotees always got 24 hours, at the door. Although one of the time, like although they are guarding, Mahaprabhu is not there in the room. Suddenly, when the next morning when they saw, uh, and so that kind of, like in that madness, he was hitting the walls, doors, and crying, rubbing his face to the wall, and shouting, and bodily deformations, externally seeing, it was a complete misery for the devotees who are around him. They are so worried for Mahaprabhu about his well-being, but he is enjoying the ecstasy internally. So this is what is Brahmara Gita, actually, not the previous one. I need to check what is the uh, comparison, parallel with Bhagavatam. So, here Mahaprabhu has no external consciousness of this world. So the theme we can see is like, when Krishna becomes center of our consciousness, the more and more that happens, the less and less we will be worried about the world, around us. It's not that we don't do our activities, but its dominance and its control on us reduces. Situations might not change, but our experience is not related to a materialist or something. So we just need to think what dominates our internal world, So although I am talking, there are so many things dominate my internal world that because as a service I have to present, I am doing this. And then this is the picture of Sri Radhakant. And this Radhakant deity was Pratap Rudra's father, Purushottam Dev, when he went to a battle with Kanchipuram. So once after victory, he brings back the Radhakant deity. I think there was some pastime how Radharani comes. So later he comes, and here this picture is Mahaprabhu in the deity form, and she is Lalita, and here is Nityananda Prabhu. These are the deities, and this is the room where Mahaprabhu was there, and these are Mahaprabhu's chapel, which are on the top, and you can see before the Kamandalu, and I don't know what is quilt meaning. I forgot to check. Quilt. So these are those Mahaprabhu's personal items. They are still there. So and finally is Shikshashtakam. Because all this while he was just Krishna, Krishna. All he is doing is chanting the holy name. So holy name is what he has given us, and so his heart is like constantly, every moment he is missing in the last 12 years, like ages in separation. And that separation, that is what is externally very much manifested in Mahaprabhu. But internally, he was experiencing that Madan feeling also, not just Mohan. Madan also he is experiencing that is love in union, which is an internally he was relation. So that is what Acharya says. That's all I can just repeating. So that is the how much he is longing. That is what we should aspect, and keeping that in mind, we should chant the holy name. Our adhikar is chanting the holy name. I think we should focus, and we can appreciate these feelings from distance. As much as we understand, that much we understood, kind of. Of course, I'm not saying that don't ask questions, but beyond a limit, it is hard to understand the devotional feelings, because these are not sentiments, these are real experiences. So, and finally, why Mahaprabhu gave us Namaprabhu? So, although he is tasting Mahabhav, he gave simple process for us. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the same Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency of Krishna, that is giving Mahabhav to Krishna, the same tool is accessible to us. That is the chanting of the holy name. And we will try to touch in our lives that holy name with more sincerity, and in the seed form, but still we try to chant attentively. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Bo. Thank you. Any Q&A? I am sure that I felt I overspoke. Any thoughts? And I am actually curious to hear about, because many of the devotees you went to Brindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri I visited, but at that time I don't even know there is someone called Mahaprabhu. That was my situation when I went. So I wanted to hear from devotees if they would like to share something to enlighten me, and any questions on whatever we discussed so far. Please feel free. Power saver on. Yeah, that's not connected.